Hello everybody! Welcome to my live streaming. I'm Paolo Ciccone, I'm a personal branding photographer, and today I'll be talking to you about professional presentation, particularly headshots. By the way, this is my first live stream, so I hope it works. I hope you can hear me correctly. If you are online, please feel free to post something on the chat so I know that everything is working fine. So when it comes to professional presentation, I'm particularly thinking about headshots. And the reason is because continuously, every day I go to LinkedIn and I see professionals of all sorts. And when I look at their profiles, well, their headshot is pretty poor. And I wonder, why is that? Why there are so many people who otherwise present themselves in a very professional way, but online they don't have the sharp presentation that they should have. And you know, if we are looking, for example, here in Charleston, South Carolina, where I'm talking from, I'm broadcasting from, we have, for example, 7,000, I think the last estimate is 7,000 realtors. That probably combines both the residential and the commercial ones. It's a crowded scene. So when I see a realtor, I see often that they come to the client in a nice car. Car is spotless, detailed, shiny. They're dressing for the part, as they should. They want to create a certain impression. Well, then I look at their profile online and the headshot is generally pretty poor. So I'm thinking, why is that? Now, there is a fundamental misconception among many people about what a headshot is for. If we're going to LinkedIn, so let me actually switch to my page, just a sec. Okay, so here we are. So this is your typical LinkedIn profile. When you're looking at the LinkedIn profile, often I see headshots that are really not that good. Why is that? There is this fundamental misconception that the headshot is there to show the face behind the name. Well, that's a very simplistic approach, and it's not at all what it should be. Let me backtrack a second and tell you one thing. Cindy Grosso is the founder of the Charleston School of Protocol. She's been on CNN, CBS, Oprah, Dr. Phil. She regularly talks to medical organizations about professionalism. So she's an expert in that field. Well, she found out that 55% of people's opinion of yourself depends on the way you're presenting yourself. And that happens in the first 30 seconds. So 50%. Hold on a second. No, Freddie, we are online. Let me just reply to Freddie. No, Freddie, we are online. Let me just put the link, DLI Web, headshot tips, live viewer. All right. The beauty of live, huh? So 55%, more than half of the impression that you're making on people depends on the way you're presenting yourself. Now, if we are looking at that online, that means that more than half of your reputation online rides on your headshot. That's a pretty staggering number. I mean, if you think about it, go mentally to your LinkedIn profile, think about what image is in there, and say to yourself, 55% of what people think of me depends on that image. How do you feel about it? So today is a day that I want to dedicate to show you some elements of good presentation on professional presentation. Hold on a second, I'm seeing a message here. I've been on hold, dial in. So let me just respond to, sorry, just refresh the page. We are live. So let me verify that we are live indeed. Yes, that is what I see here. Perfect, perfect. Okay. Let me send it. There you go. And boy, when you're doing everything yourself live, you really appreciate the idea of having a producer. Anyway, don't have it, so sorry for the interruptions. This is all done live and I have to care of the transmission and talking and everything. And I hope I'm not losing track of my train of thought. Okay, so when it comes to your presentation online, more than half of your reputation online depends on your headshot. Now, keep in mind this, people check you out all the time. They will, as you do it. I'm sure that if you're looking for somebody to repair your roof, or if you're looking for a plumber, or if you're looking for somebody to print some marketing material, you do your research online and you'll try to find who is behind the company. Well, people do the same about you. And so it is your best interest to show your best face forward, your best look. And in this day and age of social media, you want also to have a presence on LinkedIn, you want to have a presence on Facebook, you want to have a presence in your own blog. All those avenues are important to establish your presence online, to be to create your reputation. And when you do that, the best way you can send your message, the best way you can engage with the audience is by presenting a wonderful, sharp portrait of yourself. So when you're blogging, for example, if you place a different portrait than your headshot in your blog, that makes the message much more personal. Okay, for today, I have a great presentation, I think so, because I had the good fortune of having 5 people who offered to have their profile picture from LinkedIn judged online. Judge is kind of a loaded word, but I'll take a look at their pictures and highlight how we can make it better. And to those 5 individuals, Elko Reese, Hugh, Derek, Michael, and Freddie, I want to say one thing. First of all, thank you very much. Thank you for offering to do this. Second, know that you are already on the path of improving your presentation, because obviously being here and allowing me to look at your profile pictures online, it means that you are interested in presenting yourself at your best. You might not be there yet, but this is the first step. So thank you very much. And I want to start with the first one, which is Elko Reese Brown. So let me see if I see their page. Yeah. So Elko Reese Brown, we have a picture here. We have the generic banner on LinkedIn. So first of all, Elko Reese, I know that we are talking about the headshot today, but I would suggest that you are also spending some time on improving your overall profile. So let's take a look at her picture, and I'm going to just click on it to enlarge it as much as possible, as much as LinkedIn allows us to do. So first of all, what can we say about this picture? She's there, she's nice, she has a nice smile, but the picture is obviously not a professionally made one. And that is your first hint. When people will look at you online, they will see if you have spent the energy and the commitment and the money to present yourself professionally. So when you don't do that, there is a first little point where it says, okay, she is not yet using a professional presentation. That can be detrimental for your overall image. So that's the first element. The second one is this image is rather dark. You see the background. I would say there is an overhead lamp. There are a few hot spots here in the skin, which should not be there, should be less. Obviously, this is done with a phone or a very inexpensive camera. It's grainy. There is a light switch sticking out in place of the ear, and there is a vertical line sprouting from top of the head. The other elements, there is no light in the eyes. The eyes are the most important part in your profile picture, in your headshot. The eyes have to create a connection with the viewer. Now, El Khoury's expression is nice, although I'm not too fond of the surprised look. You know, I think there is kind of there's a little bit of a deer in the headlight factor here, and again, I mean it in the most benign way. I'm here to tell you what is the impression that is projecting. So what I would do here, of course, I would do this picture professionally. I think that the wardrobe should be toned down a little bit too. I'm not a big fan of scarves for portraiture in general, because I think that it's actually more flattering to show the neckline. Definitely needs to be done in a proper way, and when it comes to the eyes, there should be reflections in them, because otherwise they look dead. So let me show you a couple of examples here. So this is, see the reflections here in the eyes, reflections in the eyes. Here, same thing. Even these people have glasses. So those reflections are important. These are all clients. And let's see, there you go. So you see that connection with the eyes and those glints of light. That's important. So overall, not a bad picture, but it could be done in a much better way, and these elements in the background are totally distracting. They should be gone. Even this little speck of something, it is totally distracting. So my suggestion when it comes to professional portraits is always to have a neutral backdrop. So in this case, we can have white or we can have gray, but it has to be neutral so that the focus is on the subject. All right, so that was El Khoury. Thank you very much, El Khoury, for allowing us to look at your profile picture. The next one, let's go to Hugh Corcoran. Hugh is, has a company called Wild Blue, and it's a fun environment of sports activities. And so we talked about this in person. And of course, I told you, look, you don't need to be in a suit and a jacket, that kind of deal. But let's take a look at the picture here. So obviously, this was taken in a bar somewhere. So first of all, these kind of candid pictures should never be on your profile. At the very minimum, find a wall, an outdoor wall, anything. And picture yourself with, if you're doing a selfie, with a neutral backdrop. So, you know, there is all kind of people. The picture is askew. And so let's take a look at the expression. The expression is, I'm kind of like scared here. It's like, wow, you're gonna be, you look like a hitman. So first of all, I know that you are in an environment that is more informal. You are promoting sports activities. So we are not going to suggest that you're going to be dressed up like a banker, not at all. But I would definitely lose the baseball cap. I think baseball caps are a no-no for any kind of business situation unless you are a baseball player. Other than that, I would lose that. Your face is completely in the darkness, which is not a flattering or friendly situation. Your eyes are completely not visible. Now, there is, this is important because eyes are the most important part of your portrait. People will connect with you based on what they see in your eyes. So your portrait has to show a personality. I would go a little more friendly. I would definitely go professional. You need to have, you deserve to have a professional portrait for your business activity. And as wardrobe goes, I would say we can keep it informal, maybe a polo shirt. That doesn't have to be a dress shirt, but even in the more informal environments, I'm always of the opinion that you cannot go wrong by overdressing, but let's keep it informal. You can have an unbuttoned shirt, no need for a tie, or maybe a polo shirt, nice little neutral color, solid color, something like in blue or green, that kind of situation. Neutral backdrop, flattering light, and absolutely a nice expression. You can be serious. You can be, like this. It can be serious, but it doesn't have to be looking like a hitman. So thank you again, Hugh, for allowing us to look at your picture. I hope this is useful. So neutral backdrop, light in the eyes, nice expression, professionally made with flattering light, and that will give you the sharp presentation that you deserve to have. All right, let's go to the next person. Derek, you're from San Francisco Bay Area. That is where I come from. I moved just less than 3 years ago from Santa Cruz, which is just an hour south of where you are, south of San Francisco. So let's take a look at Derek. Okay, so the picture is small, so that is the first problem. We want to have a nice high-resolution picture. And so I can see very little of this. It is important when we have a headshot that we create a connection with the viewer. Your headshot, again, is not about showing the face behind the name, but it is about showing your personality, making that connection with a possible customer, client, or person interested in your services. So, first of all, it should be a little bigger. Second, again, I go back to the same suggestion that I gave Hugh, lose the baseball cap. Never, ever, ever in a business situation have that kind of image. Unless you're a baseball player. But I see that you are a software developer. Hello, I used to be a software developer, and so I understand where you're coming from. In the Silicon Valley, underdressed is de rigueur. If you are overdressed, you'll make the wrong impression. So perfectly fine to use the kind of shirt that you're wearing there. Maybe I would bring it up a tiny bit. Okay, just a little bit. You have a nice smile, which leads me to think that you are able to smile, in a portrait situation in a nice, natural way, which is great. Good smiles are always a plus. But again, I don't see your eyes. So that is important. when you have a headshot, let me switch to my own here, and let's see. Let's not do that because it is my profile. So let me just switch to somebody, so one of my clients, and like Thomas, so I can click on his headshot. So you see here that we have a much bigger, high resolution image. And of course, there is a glint of light or good reflections in the eyes. Those are called, technically, they're called catch lights. Don't ask me why. There is a good balance here because we see that the head, the face is prominent in the image, but it's not a floating head. So there is a little bit of shoulders. In fact, I could even crop it a little wider, but that is the right proportion. There is shoulders, and the fact that the shoulders are cropped, unfortunately, is because of this current tendency that I'm not too fond of, which is to create the round image. Not too fond of that. I would go for a square, either square or rectangular thumbnail. The round one is really not helping anyone. So it is important to keep that in mind, but this is the right proportion that you want to have in your headshot. And so here we need more view, we need the eyes. Of course, this is another candid, so we have lines intersecting your head in the background, which is not helping anybody. So again, the backdrop should be neutral. See how much more impact you have with a neutral backdrop. Okay, so that is important. Of course, I'm not in the San Francisco Bay Area, so I have no interest in this, but I say, Derek, absolutely contact a professional photographer, and you deserve a better headshot. Call somebody locally, look at their portfolio, and see if they have that kind of look that I described. There are many people who shoot with the neutral backdrop, and I would suggest go to somebody who has a studio, not outside. You want somebody who has actually the equipment in studio, because when you are in front of the camera, I know that many people kind of freak out at the beginning. I tell my clients all the time that I don't even care for the first 10-15 minutes of the session, because I know that it takes time to warm up. Okay, it takes time, unless you are one of the very few people, there are about 7% of the people in general who are very natural in front of the camera. But if you're not one of those, if you're just a regular person, it will take some time to have somebody pointing a camera at you and giving you these instructions, and get used to it. And you get used to it. And in fact, most of my clients have fun. At the end they say, wow, I didn't even know that could be that fun. But my sessions, at the very minimum, are 1 hour long. And normally they go longer, 2 hours. In fact, yesterday I had a client who was here for 2 hours for the photo shoot, plus an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes for hair and makeup. Now, speaking of which, I forgot to mention that with El Coriz, women, I will always suggest to have a professional hair and makeup done. That makes the image much better. It's I know that if you're used to make your own makeup, you're thinking, well, I don't want to have to look any different. It doesn't go in that way. Professional hair and makeup really amp up the image, amp up the professional look. Yesterday with this client, at some point after the warm-up period was well behind us, we had a few great moments, a few great poses, and at some point I looked in the back of my camera and I thought, wow, this is really great, and I showed it to her, and she looks at it, it's like, wow, I look like a CEO. And I said, yes, because you are a CEO and now you look like one. That is the reason of having a headshot professionally done. Now, Derek, you are a senior software developer. So I know how it goes in the world of high tech. People change their jobs often, or there can be advancement inside the same company for higher positions, maybe as a senior architect or a software architect. So caring for your image is always beneficial. It will help you improve your current employment or go for the next level. So again, hire a good local photographer and get the headshots that you deserve to have. All right, our next subject is Michael Simmons. All right, Michael, interesting to see that you're using both your headshot and in another one where you holding the CD. You are in the media solutions, media market. Great. Let me click on your profile and see what we have here. Okay, so nice smile, neutral backdrop. So we are already ahead of the game. Bravo. I think we can make it even better. So one of the things I would have done if you were my client, I would not have delivered this image in this way. I would have reduced the redness in the face. Now, redness is a common issue that happens to most people, or at least many, many people. This is one of the reasons why, and I'm not kidding, even with male clients, I would suggest professional makeup. It's the same reason why you have broadcasters on TV having makeup, men and women alike. Of course, men have much less. They don't have mascara or anything like that. But the complexion can be made more even and reduce some of the blemishes, which will lead to a much better result. That is why I suggest to have that option. Anyway, I can fix some of that in software, in post-processing, in retouching. Also, this hot spot on the cheek is really not right. It shouldn't be there, and the same here. Now, there is a neutral backdrop, but it is a wall. I can tell it is a wall. So it has that quality of not, it's a little yellowy. So not really the best option there. The other thing is I would crop, see all this space on top? That doesn't do anything good. There's no reason for this. Nobody's going to wonder if you are missing the top of the cranium. You know, so you see, it's better to crop much tighter. You see how much I am cropping people? It doesn't matter that the top of the head is cropped, but it makes for a much more intimate personal connection when you're that close. All that space here, it doesn't help you at all. So in fact, if you were to crop this image so that more of your shoulders was visible, it would actually create a better balance. The other thing is, I would have shot this sideways, so kind of a 45 look like this. You have a little bit of that in your other photo here, but definitely it would have been more dynamic, more flattering, and the lighting could be a little better, a little softer. I can see here from the sharp shadows here that it was a very sharp lighting. So I would go for a little softer lighting, a little more dynamic pose, definitely clean up the redness in the face. And I would suggest actually in your case, you have a shirt and a tie. I would add a jacket as well. I think that will complete the look. I hope this was helpful. And Michael, thank you very much again for letting us look at your headshot. Finally, our fifth subject today, it's Freddie Brown. I know Freddie personally. We meet every week at the 1 Million Cups event here in Charleston. And let's take a look at his picture. So, Freddie, I know you personally, you are a strong presence, you're a towering man. I don't know how this was taken, but obviously it was done against a green screen, because I can see a green spill of light here and here. And so somebody took this against the green screen and then they replaced the backdrop. The image is blurry, so it doesn't help you very much. We have catch lights, so good for that. Again, I would say here there are too many hot spots. They should be reduced. This is kind of not really looking good. And the expression is a bit on the deer of the in the headlight kind of look. You're not connecting. You want a connection, man. You want to look at somebody and make that connection. Be smiling, but make a good connection. This is not there. I know you. You're a very friendly guy, but and you know your business well. You want to create that impression. The backdrop, total distraction. That's total noise. It shouldn't be there. So again, oh, kudos for the crop. It's a crop of the top of the head. Great, I like that. But I would have more of your shoulders in the photo, a nice expression, more focused. You know, these things about the green spill, that makes it look a little meh. Yeah, it's really not good. People should not have green on their faces. So overall, it's not bad, but it doesn't help you. You deserve a much more professional look to show yourself as the great professional that I know you are. So this is it. These are some of the classic examples, and if there is somebody here on, let me go to the chat. So if there is somebody here who wants to volunteer their profile, please let me know. Otherwise, let me wrap it up in this way. These are classic examples of what we see on LinkedIn. Okay? These are not bad, but they are not helping the people we just saw. Your profile is meant to create a connection with the viewer, to show your personality, to show what you are about. When you're thinking about your headshot, think that this is the image that you're presenting to the world, and you will be presenting this image at least for a year. It's important to care for it. It completes the entire presentation that you have in your line of business. And some of the suggestions that I gave, I believe will apply to many other situations. So look at your headshot, see if any of the things I mentioned are applying to you, and you will know what you need to do to improve your online presence. I just want to thank everybody for being here. My name is Paolo Ciccone. I'm a personal branding photographer in Charleston, South Carolina. The name of my studio is Dreamlight Images. Thank you for watching.